सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् नारायणम् पद्मभवम् वसिष्ठम् शक्तिम् च तत्पुत्रपराशरम् च व्यासम् शुकम् गौडपादम् महान्तम् गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमतास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमतास्य पद्म पादम् च हस्तामलकम् च शिष्यम् तम् तोडकम् वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादम् शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतम् करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयम् देवम् सद्गुरुम् ब्रह्मविद्वरम् नमः श्रीशङ्करानन्द गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलासमहामोह ग्राहग्रासैककर्मणे आत्मानं चाभिजानीय अयमस्मीति पूरुषः किमिच्छन् कस्य कामाय शरीरम् अनुसञ्ज्वरेत् 31 we completed, right?
Yes, yes.
संसारसक्तचित्तः सच्चिदाभासकदाचन स्वयं प्रकाशकूटस्थं स्वतत्त्वं नैव वेद्ययम् न बाधि नास्ति कूटस्थः इति भक्तिः प्रसङ्गतः कर्ता भोक्ताहमस्मीति विक्षेपं प्रतिपद्यते अस्ति कूटस्थ इत्यादौ परोक्षं वेत्ति वार्तया पश्चात् कूटस्थ एवास्मि इत्येवं वेत्ति पश्चात् कूटस्थ एवास्मीति एवं वेत्ति विचारतः परोक्षं वेत्ति आत्मानं परोक्षं वेत्ति पर अक्षेण वेत्ति. And that is why it is said, Vartaya Veti, Upadeshaya Veti. By the Upadesha given by the teacher, Veti comes to know as Asti Kutastaha iti. Consciousness is, as I said in the Mahavakya, Prajnanam Brahma iti Veti. There is Brahman, which is of the nature of Prajnanam, of the nature of consciousness, iti Veti.
Yeah.
So it is a statement of fact. It is like fire is hot. It's a statement of fact. Until you touch the fire, it does not become aparoksha. It is a paroksha jnana. And you cannot even understand what is that heat means. See, unless you have some heat element which you happen to touch with your hand, you do not know what is that feeling called heat. So when somebody says fire is hot, you see the fire, and what is hot? I do not have an experience of what do you mean by heat. Therefore, in the same way, when it is said Prajnanam Brahma, Brahma is a word. I do not know what that means. But you are saying that it is Prajnanam. Prajnanam yasya rupam lakshanam. No, its nature of Brahman is Prajnanam. Now, what is Prajnanam? What is that Prajna? The Prajna is awareness. In simple words, awareness. So the teacher would say, awareness is Brahman. Again, the awareness is what? I am aware of this, I am aware of that, I am aware of this. So, Brahma is awareness, all right. But that is again appearing to be a nature of a thing, but not mine. It does not become my experience. So, Vartaya Paroksham Veti. It is like Asti Kutastha iti Adau. Asti Kutastha. There is Asti and Tata Bhati. And Adau here should mean Bhati also. Asti Bhati iti. Kutastha Asti Bhati iti. Adau also means in the beginning. In the beginning, at the beginning, when a person comes to go for the study and through Shravana Kale, Upadesha Vakyena, Atma Paramatma Kutastha Asti iti Adau Veti. All right. Paschat, later, Vicharataha, Vicharena. Vicharataha is Panchami, Vicharat, but can also mean Tritiya. Vicharamargena, Vicharam Krutva, Vicharatah. What he comes to know? Veti, he knows. Kutastha Asmi Aham iti Veta. And what does he say here? Paschat Kutastha Asmi iti Veti. Kutastha Eva Asmi iti Veti. This is called as Aparoksha. Paroksha Jnanam Asti Kutastha. Aparoksha Jnanam Asmi Kutastha. The Asti and Asmi, there is a difference. Asmi is I am. Asti is it is. A thing is, but that thing is me. That transition takes place. And not only that, Kutastaha aham asmi, Kutastaha eva aham asmi. Meaning, I'm not anything else. So what I have been thinking myself as the buddhi, as a deha, as manaha, as vrittis, thoughts and emotion, feeling, body, etc. जो मैं सोच रहा था वो नहीं हूं मैं कूटस्थः एव अस्मि so here कूटस्थ एव अस्मि इति एवं वेत्ति एवं उपदेशवाक्येन तत्त्वमस्यादि उपदेशवाक्येन विचारं कृत्वा पश्चात् विचारस्य फलम् गृहीतवान् शिष्यः वदति aham kutastha eva asmi. He says that I am that only. That is called aparoksha. Not that, oh, I am Brahman plus. Deha also is there, body is there, mind is there, and plus Brahman also. Brahman alone. Which includes what? Everything else I see is also included in that. Brahma eva eham kutastha eva asmi iti jnatva lokaha na. Nothing else other than that is there. Then only it is aparoksha. So do not account for anything else as real apart from that. Everything else is seen to be baditam. बात करने के लिए वो बाधितम बात करने के लिए व्यवहार के लिए ही है. It is vacharambanam only for the sake of vacharambanam. It's only for the sake of speaking. That is why it is said that in Upanishad the world is nothing but only for the sake of conversation. उसके बाद कुछ नहीं है. Conversation की बात है. World is nothing but only for the sake of transaction of talking. So here in this very verse itself, two things he covered, both paroksha and aparoksha. In the previous verse, he completed avarana and vikshepa. And the first verse is there about Ajnana. So Ajnana covered, Avarana is covered, Vikshepa is already completed, Paroksha Jnanam, Aparoksha Jnanam. Now, what is the end result? There in the case of discovery of the 10th man, what did he earlier concluded? That Dashamaha Mrutaha iti. Nadyam Mrutaha iti. Now that wrong knowledge or wrong assumption has been removed first by Paroksha Jnana. Paroksha Jnana say, what did the Paroksha Jnana in that particular illustration? Dashamaha asti iti vakyena dashamaha na mrutaha iti janati. After he understand dashamaha na mrutaha, dukkham is gone. No more the sorrow of the death of the 10th man. No more that samsara dukkham has been removed. In the case of a person who has gained that knowledge that dashamaha asti paroksha jnanena dukkha nivrittihi. All right. Then what did he further come to know? Aham dashamaha iti. Aham dashamaha iti jnanena. So what did he say at that point of time when he had reached the understanding of Tvameva dashamaha asidi ganayitva pradashitaha aparokshataya jnatva hrishyati eva na roditi. So here hrishyati, but he said na rod. So rodanam has already started there. Why? Because 10th is not lost. But when he comes to know ahameva dashamaha iti jnatva hrishyati, there is two kind of joy here. That means what I have been thinking and suffering was also false. That the 10th fellow is gone, and where do I find him? And I know where he might have died, and I don't know who has died. All that dukkham has come to sudden end. And that is that dashamaha asti. Then also the fact that the suffering that I had gone through had no meaning. Probably he rolled on the ground. He got injured also. I know where my teacher will ask, where is that fellow? I do not know how to tell him, and I'll be punished for taking them all, and then now I'm not returning all the people. Then what am I going to? All that suffering has come to an end. Upon discovery of oneself, what he realizes is foolishness. How much I have mistaken a situation which actually did not happen. What did not happen? Nobody was lost. So it was my foolishness that I had gone through all these experiences. So Gurudev used to say, those who think, they laugh. Those who don't, they cry. Life is a comedy for those who think. Life is a tragedy for those who don't. So here, Hrishyati eva. Similarly here, Karta Bhokti Tevamadi Shokajatam Pramunchati Kritam Krityam Prapaniyam Praptamityeva Tushyati Karta Bhoktetyeva Madi Shokajatam Pramunchati Kritam Krityam Prapaniyam Praptamityeva Tushyati. Karta Bhokta iti evam adi Shokajatam. Shokajatam karta bhokta. Karta, kartrutva is shoka karanam. Bhoktrutva api shoka karanam. Kartrutva kim shoka karanam? Kartrutva, why it is considered as a sorrow? Because karna hai. No, see, whenever we take up anything to do, it definitely demands certain amount of exertion, thinking, effort, and the karta, and also while doing, whether I'll get what I want or not, anxiety would be there, uncertainty will be there. Sometimes failure will happen, the dejection will be there. When you don't get it, somebody else get it, in spite of you working for it. That's much more painful. All that happens. Right? So, and then, bhokta also is a cause of suffering. Ehi samsarshaja bhogaha dukkha eva. Bhagavan Krishna very clearly says, samsparshaja sarvaha bhogaha dukkha dukkha eva. All experiences or all joys derived out of contact is the womb of suffering. Because the contact is lost, or contact is gone, or contact is no more, or contact is not possible, dukkha. So, ehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkha. So, here it is a shoka jatam sarvam pramunchati. What is the result of this aparoksha jnanam? Shokasya nashanam. Shokanashanam. Shokam pramunchati. Shokajatam pramunchati. So the end of all the suffering. Prasade sarvadukkanam hanirasyoupajayate. Bhagavan Krishna says that prasada buddhi, when the mind has become placid and quiet and peaceful, all these sorrows caused to by misunderstanding, all the sorrows connected to karta and bhokta, kartrutva and bhoktrutva. In Vivekchudam class also I explained that, no. जिसमें कर्तृत्व नहीं है, भोक्तृत्व नहीं है, वो सन्यासी बन जाता है. सन्यासी का धर्म क्या है? न कर्ता न भोक्ता. क्यों? आत्मा अकर्ता है. आत्मा न कर्ता, आत्मा न भोक्ता. मैं आत्मा हूं, ब्रह्म हूं, मैं कर्ता नहीं हूं, भोक्ता भी नहीं. So I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer, is the state of sannyasa. Whereas मैं कर्ता हूं न भोक्ता, वो वानप्रस्थ की धर्म है. वानप्रस्थिन, he engages in action but not get involved in the result of that action. This is what Bhagavan Krishna leading Arjuna to. Karma Yoga mein, that's the main crux of the whole thing. Karo mat bhogo. To engage in action, but not for the sake of bhoga. So, करते रहो योगी बनो, बोलते रहो भोगी बनो. भोगी बन के रोगी बनो. So here karta, मैं हूं. मैं, see, through me the action is going on. So, and मैं भोगने वाला हूं. So this is a state of vanaprasthin where he has transitioned from the previous condition. What is that? कर्ता भी मैं हूं, भोगता भी मैं हूं. भोगने के लिए ही करता हूं. Only for the sake of my own enjoyment only I do it. मैं कर्ता भी हूं, भोगता भी. So that's why that's a state of rajas. Whereas in the case of anaprasthin, it is state of sattva, karta mein nahi bhokta. So that is state of sattva where action goes on, but no intention and anxiety about the result. Whereas action is going on with an intent to enjoy, and enjoyment alone is pushing that person to engage in action. That is rajas. Such a person can neither stop enjoying nor stop working. It's impossible to stop that person. Acha. Okay, so the third, the next condition is what? Kumar avastha. भोगता हूं न करता हूं. I am going to enjoy, but I won't do anything. ये तामसिक स्थिति है. State of tamas where one does not engage in action, but he wants to enjoy everything. So tamasic स्थिति is भोगता हूं मैं, करता नहीं. रजस में करता भी मैं हूं, भोगता भी हूं. और सत्व में करता हूं, मैं नहीं भोगता हूं. गुणातीत रूप में क्या है, मैं करता भी नहीं हूं, भोगता भी नहीं. सो कर्ता भोक्ता इति एवं आदि शोकजातम प्रमुंचति. So shoka nashanam is the stage 6. Stage 6 is what? Shoka nivrittihi, samsara nivrittihi. Now, and we always feel that sukha praptihi dukkha nivrittihi eva sarva pravrittinam karanam. Enjoyment of experiences, that what kind of experiences then we want to enjoy? Most of the time, sparsha jadam, sukha. A contact bond sukham only we consider as a sukha. And dukkha nivritti. So here, the stage 6 is where he samsara nivritti, paroksha jnanena samsara nivritti is also gone, and aparoksha jnanena shokam is also gone. What is the next stage could be? Tripti. Tripti is, I have nothing more to do. Meaning what? Fulfilled. Tripti is where, the contentment is where there is not even a volition takes place. Sarva aramba parityagi banta. There is no volition to engage. Why? Kritam krityam. When does kartrutva end? जो करना है कर चुका हूं. Otherwise you won't even go to sleep. Huh? When do you go to sleep? जो करना है आज कर लिया. कुछ और करना है बहुत बाद में करेंगे, कल करेंगे. We are not in the state of tripti. It's sukti only. तृप्ति नहीं, सुक्ति है. सुषुप्ति में वो तृप्ति नहीं है. तृप्ति comes only when कृतं सर्वम, सर्वम यत् यत् करणीयम कृतम, कृतं कृत्यम. सो कर्तृत्व त्याग हो जाता है. कर्तृत्व भी मैं नहीं हूं, कर्ता भी मैं नहीं हूं. कब मिलेगा वो? When do you achieve the state of akartru bhava? Kritam krityam iti bhave. That knowledge that anything to be done, I'm done. Yeah, ask anybody, are you done? Are you done? So yesterday I was in some place, and so this one small little girl was very naughty. So she was eager to, I was eating food, and after that she wanted to give the bhiksha, and then she had to go to eat. So there, which was just standing next, watching. And I was slowly eating. Then I looked at her. Eat? No. And I'm eating fast. I first did not understand. Then I looked at the mother. Why is she wanting me to eat fast? Because she wanted to give the viksha and then go for eating. Oh, okay. And then again once more. Done. Then I just to tease her, I'm not a don. I asked you whether you're done. So anyway, so who can say done? I'm done. Kritam krityam. So kartrutva ends only when this you have realized. Kritam krityam. जो करना है मैं कर चुका हूं, बस. न करणीयम किंचित अस्ति. इस जगत में जो करना है वो सब कर लिया, तो कुछ और करने का बात शेष नहीं है. देन जो भोगना है वो भोग लिया. प्राप्तम प्रापणीयम. जो हमको जो प्रापणीय है, what I need to get, I got. Whatever I need to have, I have already got it. Again, that is, then only bhoktrutva will end. Bhoktrutva or enjoyership will end only when one comes to this stand of this maturity. Prapaniyam praptam. Whatever I need to get, I have already got. That means what? Desirelessness. There is no more desire in the person. Aptakamaha aham. That's why it said, Apuryamanam achala pradishtam samudramapas pravishanti yatvad tatvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnodi na kamakami. All the rivers have entered into the ocean and ocean does not rise anymore. In the same way, all the desires have entered into him, he will not rise anymore because all of them merged into him. So, praptam prapaniyam, that is to say that praptam prapaniyam means what? Aham na bhokta. I am not anymore hereafter. Tadanantaram tataha na aham bhokta. Iti tushyati. This is called tushti, santushti, tripti. This is called the state of contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment. So when you are taking up any project and it is all going on, so much of frenzy activity, once it is all over, ho gaya, trupta. Especially when you have some very important responsibility, and it is so, especially the children have gone to university. Ah, God, 17 years of carrying them on the shoulder. Done. When they get married, furthermore, up finished. इनका कुछ नहीं मुझे करना है. So, कृतं कृत्यं प्रापणीयं प्राप्तम् इति एवं तुष्यति. इति एव तुष्यति. That is called triptihi. Even as you know, when somebody is sick, and after some time of taking medicine, etc., slowly when that health is come back to original condition, is it not there is a relief? Oh, no more medicine, no more all these things, I'm done. So that kind of a tripti, regaining the original condition is also considered as a fulfillment. Continuing, Ajnanamavritti Tattvat Vikshepascha Parokshadhi Aparokshamadhi Shokam Aparokshamadishoka Mokshasthrupti Nirankusha Ajnanamavritis Tatvad Vikshepascha Parokshadi Aparokshamadishoka Mokshasthrupti Nirankusha. These are the 7 stages we have seen. Ajnanam first, then Avriti, Avaranam, then Tattvat Vikshepaha, that is projection or superimposition, Parokshadihi, and knowledge coming from externally, that is extraneous knowledge or vicarious knowledge, Aparokshamadihi, the state of Aparoksham, that is immediate knowledge, experiential knowledge. 6th one is Shoka Moksha, that is a release from all the suffering. Then Triptihi, Ankusha Triptihi, Nirankusha Triptihi, Nirankusha Triptihi, unlimited. Ankusha means to limit, to bind. Nirankusha Triptihi, there is no more impediment. There is no more obstacle. Obstacle-free satisfaction. These are the 7 stages of from Ajnan se Aparoksha Tripti tak. Right? Now, these are the 7 stages we have seen so far. So, continuing, Saptavasta ima santi Chidavasasya tasvimau बन्धमोक्षौ स्थितौ तत्र तिस्रो बन्धकृतस्मृताः सप्तावस्था इमा सन्ति चिदाभासस्य तास्विमौ बन्धमोक्षौ स्थितौ तत्र तिस्रो बन्धकृतस्मृतः इमाः sapta avastaha santi. These are the 7 avasthas, states. Avastha, so state or stage. These are all 7 stages to whom? Chidabhasasya, Jivasya, Purushasya. In the verse, what is given there? Atmanam ched vichaniyat ayam asmiti Purushaha. Purusha here should be understood as Jivaha, Mumukshuhu, Sadhakaha iti. So sadhakasya chidabhasasya imaha saptavastaha santi. These 7 stages are there for a chidabhasaha. So for a person who is now presently a reflection of consciousness. Then tasu saptasu. In those 7 conditions or states, bandhamoksho imau stitau tatra. There, in that 7 states, both bandha and moksha are included. Within the 7 only, bandhan also, moksha also. In other words, chidabhasasya eva bandhascha mokshascha. These 2 conditions of bondage and liberation are within this 7 stage. And to the chidabhasa alone, this bondage and liberation. Na kutastasya iti. Kutastaha sadam mukta. The consciousness is ever released and ever free only. But kutastasya eva bandhamokshau saptasu stitau. The 2 conditions are there within the 7 only. Tatra, there, tisraha bandhakrita smrutaha. First 3 are conditions of bondage. Ajnana, Avriti, and Vikshep. Ye tino bandhakritaha. Bandhakritaha means bandhanasya hetuhu. Bandha hetuhu. Iti smritaha. Iti smritaha. Tisraha smritaha. These 3 are known or referred, are known as, remembered as bandhakritaha tisraha. These 3 are those which are causing the bondage. That is ajnana, that is absence of knowledge, and avarana, covering of that knowledge, covering that reveals the ignorance. As we have seen that avaranam tu ajnana vyanjagam. Then vikshepa, that is adhyasa, that is projection, which is the cause for samsara dukkham. In the case of the example, that ajnana is what? Dashamaha na badi na asti iti. The 10th man is not there and also not seen. That is the condition there. And then he comes to have a feeling is mar gaya, doob gaya. Samsara dukkha. Now, when he counts only, he will realize. That's the first one is counting and then not knowing whether he's there or not, coming to know that he's not there, and then finally he is coming to have a dukkham out of that condition of losing the 10th man. So, first 3 of them are considered as bandha karanam, bandha hetavaha. Now, how they are bandha hetavaha? Now, first we will understand how ajnanam is a bandha hetu. How knowledge is the cause of bondage. This we have to understand first. Because many people even don't consider that there is bondage. You are all bound. You know that? Where? No, not. What are you saying? You are in samsar mein doob gaya. I'm very much dry on doob. So, who would not accept? So now you see what is ajnanam and how it is a bondage. Na janami tyudasina व्यवहारस्य कारणम् विचारप्रागभावेन युक्तमज्ञानमीरितम् न जानामीत्युदासीन व्यवहारस्य कारणम् विचारप्रागभावेन युक्तमज्ञानमीरितम् Ajnanam iritam. Ajnanam kaditam. Iritam is known as a ajnan hai. This is what is called ajnan. There are three explanations are given here. What is ajnan? What is called ignorance? First one is na janami. I don't know, which we generally understand as ajnan. In worldly sense also, when a person does not know a thing, aham na janami, I don't know this, then you are ignorant. You are ignorant of this, ignorant of that. तो इसके बारे में मुझे कोई ज्ञान नहीं है. This is, I do not know about the subject matter, anything. So here, na janami, kim na janasi. Now what is that you do not know? Here, aham na janami. This is a peculiar condition. मुझे नहीं जानता हूं. अपन के बारे में कुछ नहीं जानता. अपन को नहीं मालूम. I don't know myself. न जानामि. I don't know. This is ajnana first. The second one is उदासीन व्यवहारस्य कारणम. Karanam, it is a hetu, it is a cause. Vyavaharasya karanam. What kind of a vyavahara, what kind of a existence or worldly transaction? Udasinam krutva vyavaharam karoti. Kim udasinam krutva? Atmanam udasinam krutva. Rejecting the Atman, remaining in identification with the body, etc., continuing to engage in this world is ajnana. Is he is caused by ajnana. Udasina vyavaharasya karanam. It should be understood as atmanah udasina vyavaharasya karanam. Rejecting the consciousness and engaging in the worldly activities caused by this, whatever is causing that is ajnana. In other words, ajnanam is that causes you to reject the Atman and engage in the world. Udasin, Bhagavan also said, aham udasin hai. That udasin is different. That udasina is uninvolved. Here the udasina means rejection. I do not care about conscience. See, udasina is sometimes in such a way that you hate also. Sometimes when you hate something, you say, no, I don't want to care about that. But here it is not that. Udasina is because of the absence of the first condition. Ajnanam, najanami. I don't know. Therefore, not knowing and engaging in the worldly transaction takes place. That is what is called ajnana. Ajnanam karanam. Kasya karanam udasina vavaharasya karanam. This is the second condition. Third is very interesting. Vichara prag abhavena yuktam. Vichara prag abhavena yuktam. You have to pay attention to this. All right. So this part is there, right? You all see the part? Before the part was made, this is the methodology of explaining by the Nayaic logicians. So let me explain. So this part had a prior condition of being a mud. So when it was in the condition of a mud, it was Gata Abhava Sthiti. Gata Abhava Sthiti. What is that Gata Abhava Sthiti? It was a state where the part was not there. That condition was where the part which potentially it would have become later on was not there. So it's called Prag Abhava Sthiti, prior non-existence. In English, it's called prior non-existence. Prior non-existence. So prior non-existence means earlier condition before the pot has been made. Meaning Karanam Karya Abhava Sthiti. Karanam Karya Abhava Sthiti. Or Karya Prag Abhava Sthiti. To be precise, Karya Prag Abhava Sthiti. Before the effect come into being. What is the effect here? Pot. Pot is the Karya. Karya means effect of what? Mritehe. Mritehe Karya Gataha. So, the state of absence of the state before the part comes to existence, therefore, Prag Abhava Sthiti, the state of being non-existence of the part. Prag Abhava Sthiti. Now, here he puts the word Vichara Prag Abhavena Yuktam. विचार करने के पहले हुआ स्थिति. विचार करने के पहले क्या स्थिति था? Before you get into the contemplation or do the deliberation about Brahman, what was your condition? That is ajnana. Ajnana is what? Vichara prag abhava sthiti. Before the engagement into the vichara, which will reveal you the Brahma Tattva, what was your condition? That was ajnana. So that is why he says, Vichara prag abhavena yuktam ajnanam iti idita. Why it is important? Because vichar karne se hi that condition will move. No other way it will move. No other until this mud is in the right hand and with the right knowledge, when it is made to become a part, until then it will remain only as mud. Why it will be come to you later. Why it is necessary for vichara? So if it is taken by a pot maker and he takes it to the wheel and then gives a shape using his skill and makes a pot, until then mud will remain as a mud only. Similarly, until the correct vichar takes place, ajnan will not go in whichever condition, whatever you do. विचार करने के पहले हुआ स्थिति है वो अज्ञान है. विचार करने के बाद ही वो अज्ञान छूट जाएगा. इसलिए विचार का आवश्यकम विचारणीयम. सो हियर विचार प्राग अभावेन युक्तम, associated with the prior absence of inquiry. Vicharasya abhava sthitihi. Vichara abhava sthiti. Before vichara, what was condition? It's called ajnana. Pra. All right. Why it is that very important for us to understand the vichara? Now he says, amargena vicharyata nasti no vadi chetyasau विपरीतव्यवहृतिः आवृते कार्यमिष्यते अमार्गेण विचार्यात नास्ति नो भाति चेत्यसौ विपरीतव्यवहृतिः आवृते कार्यमिष्यते. So here amarga, so na asti na bhadi cha iti, not there in the case of that illustration also. How did he come to have that understanding saying that dashamaha nasti na bhati iti? How did he come to say that? Because he obviously counted wrong. Correct? He did not count correctly. He counted, if he had started from himself, then there would not have been any problem. Ek, do, teen, char, paanch, like that. And he stopped at 9. At least he would have completed, it's okay. So, here, nabhati na asti iti. Na asti na bhati cha iti asau. Viparita vyavakriti. Viparita vyavakriti means erroneous assumption, erroneous conclusion, erroneous thought process. Viparita vyavakriti. And because of what? Amargena vicharya. Ata. Because of amargena vicharya. Amargena vicharya means ashastra rupina, ashastra margena vicharya. Now, how it has to be, how to do the vichar is specifically instructed, not according to your own. Why we have taken the Panchakosha Viveka, Tridrisha Viveka, and Atma Anatma Viveka? Why it is these Viveka is vichara only. The vichara is not Viveka Rupa. So why that kind of vichara is given to us? Because in any other way you look at it, you may logically conclude, but that conclusion is not correct. So, Shruti Mada Tarkaha Anusandiyata. That's why in Vedanta Samindari, Sadhana Panchakam, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Shruti Madas Tarkonu Sandiyatam. And this is a reflection of the Upanishad Vakya only. Naisha Tarkena Matirapaneya. Tarkena Matihi na Apaneya. Tarkena. By mere Tarka, you cannot get the correct answer. By Tarka, I can prove that the world doesn't exist. And by Tarka, I can prove that many things which we come to see as experience, etc. Or even like with the Tarka alone, I can prove Atman doesn't exist also. But that is not right. Nayamatma balakine nalabhya na behadaya na bahuna shrunadena yamaivesha brunade tena labhya tassesha atma vibrunade tanum swam. That's why it said Naisha Tarkena Matirapaneya. Not because of any Tarka, not because of merely listening and listening. Namedaya, not by remembering some verses. Na Bahuna Shrudena, by just listening to too many times. No. Vichar karne se hi. And how to do the vichar also? Shrudimadas Tarkaha Anusandiyata. So, Amargena Vicharya. Amargena means in the wrong way. When you do the vichara, ata nasti na bhadi chi iti asau viparita vyavahara. This viparita vyavahara viksha avrudehe karyam. Avaranasya karyam. This is an effect of avriti. Avarana means what? Here, new definition it gives. Amarga vichara avriti. So even people who have studied also, When they do not take up the right way of doing vichara, they end up in not getting revealed to this truth. The correct way of vichara is necessary. See, for example, what do you use for vichara? Tell me. Vichar करने के लिए क्या, which is the agent for your vichar? मन. मन ही विचार योग्य. विचार करने के योग्य किसमें है? बॉडी में नहीं. Body is not doing vichara. मन है, right? So now, if somebody says, चित्त वृत्ति निरोध, अरे, then what? किससे विचार करोगे तुम? Just by stopping the mind, you think you will reach there? The yoga marga would say, stop the mind. Okay, then, bas. There will be shunya only there. Even though, that is the difference between chitta vritti nirodha versus manasaha abhasarupam. Padita manaha. Falsification of the mind is important than killing the mind or stopping the mind. When you do stopping the mind, you don't do any vichara for that. So the entire Shastra Adhyanam is for what? It's to study and take the mind in the right direction in such a way you reach a point of realization from which standpoint mind is seen to be false. The path that you took, even though with the help of the mind. Manasa eva idam aptavyam. Upanishad says this. Through the mind only you can go there. But having reached a point of that where you need to reach, you realize the path that you took, the vehicle that you took, helped you all right, disappears. Like that of the tiger in your dream. The tiger in the dream is not that you will never wake up. The tiger in the dream, he pushes you, run. Still on the bed. Sunday morning. Oh, tiger is here. From my dream, it jumped out and came onto my bed. So the tiger in the dream had helped you get out of the dream, but if the tiger is no more there, or tiger is no more only when you wake up, not while you are in the dream. Then you will never wake up. It will be stay there only. So here, amargena vicharya. See, the equipment through which you have to take up the vichar itself you kill. Then what happens? Then you stop there only. There is no realization of that truth will take place unless you take it all the way there. And upon reaching it will dissolve itself. You don't need to do anything about it. Upon discovery of the water, no water in that desert land, thereafter there is no more thirst to drink that water will happen. Is it not? Because you know it's not there. In the same way, no more engagement with the mind thinking it is real. But you may engage in the world because of the prarabdha, because knowing it is false. Not only the mind, whatever it projects is also false. So here, amargena vicharya atah nasti atma na asti atma na bhati iti asau viparita vyavakritihi. This kind of a conclusion and the thought process that Atman is not there because the amarga rupena Atma nabadi. Amarga vicharena Atmanaha anubhavam nasidyate. It's not possible. You're going in the wrong route and trying to find the right answer. Not available to you. So viparita vyavakritihi. This is avrutehe karyam. This is avaranasya karyam. Then that's why, you see, even though all pramanas are there, what is that? Pratyaksha pramana, anumana pramana, upamana pramana, arthapatti, anupalapti. All these are all there, but Shastra is vichara pramana. Shastra by itself is a pramana, not a pramana. शास्त्र पढ़ने से विचार करनीय है, ये विचार ही प्रमाण है. विचार करने से जो मिलता है, वॉट एवर इज obtained out of going through the vichara, that is a pramana. So therefore anything else which would conclude by wrong means of deliberation will result in navadi na asti iti aso viparita vyavahara. Viparita vyavahara means it is contradictory to what is there. Erroneous assumptions will come. Dehadvayachidabhasa रूपो विक्षेप ईरितः कर्तृत्वाद्यखिलः शोकः संसाराख्योऽस्य बन्धकः देहद्वयचिदाभास रूपो विक्षेप ईरितः कर्तृत्वाद्यखिलः शोकः संसाराख्योऽस्य बन्धकः. Now explanation about vikshepa. Ajnan is explained in three ways. न जानामि इति विज्ञान अज्ञान. अज्ञान पहले हुआ न जानामि, I don't know is अज्ञान. Second one what he said was what is it he say अज्ञान? उदासीन व्यवहार कारणम अज्ञानम. The third one is vichara prag abhava sthitihi, abhava yuktam ajnana. So that state of being endowed with the absence, the condition prior to vichara. Condition prior to vichara is considered as ajnana. Now that is absence of vichara. Whatever be the condition which is the absence of vichara is called ajnana. Now vichara also amargena vicharya na asti na bhati iti asau viparita vyavahara. That is what is called vikshepasya karyam. Okay, vikshep kya hai? Vikshep is चिदाभास देहद्वय चिदाभास रूपः. देहद्वय स्थूल सूक्ष्म देहद्वय चिदाभास रूपः विक्षेपः ईरितः is known. Meaning the reflection of consciousness associated with sthula and sukshma sharira, gross body and subtle body. Chidabhasa, reflection of consciousness associated with gross body and the subtle body, is referred as vikshepa. You have to think through. I'll come back to this with more details. So when do we actually experience the vikshepa? So vikshepa is a projection. When do we actually project? When only when we are awake. Correct? When we are awake only, and when we are sleeping, nothing happens. We are totally quiet and peaceful. But when do we actually experience vikshepa or expression of vikshepa? Only when we are awake, that is a waking or dream state. In these two states, In the state of waking, Jagrata Avasthayam, both are there. Sukshma and Sthula both are working. Meaning gross body is working and subtle body is working. In fact, gross body working according to the demands of subtle body. So, in the Vikshepa is at the time of Chidabhasa is expressing associated with the subtle body and gross body. All right. Now, in the state of dream, subtle body alone is there, gross body is resting. Again, Chidabhasa is associated with subtle body. Sukshma Sharira Abhimani Chidabhasa. So Vikshepa is explained as Dehattvaya Chidabhasa Rupaha Vikshepa Iritaha. What does it do? Kartruttvadi Akila Shoka. It has created all sorrows in the form of Kartrutva Adi. Aham Karta, Aham Bhokta, Ityadi. Akila Shokaha, all sorrows. Samsara Akyaha. Akyaha Nama. It's known as Samsara. Namaha Asya Bandakaha. Bandakaha means Bandanasya Karanam. Bandahetuhu. Vikshepaha Bandahetuhu. And that's why he said Ajnanam, Avarana, and Vikshepa. These three are considered as Bandahetavaha, cause of bondage. So, in the case of a person who is a Chidabhasaha Purushaha, Jiva, while he is connected to Sukshma and Sthula Sharira during Jagrata and Swapna Sthiti, he comes to become a Bhokta Karta, and that is the cause of sorrow, which is called Samsara. Now the Purva Pakshi will come up. For a long time I've been waiting. And you will have very pertinent question. You will never even think how you will ask that question. We will see that on the next Sunday, the following Sunday. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.